Ladies and gentlemen of the Simon Sez Network viewing audience, here we are back again. You know me, the Emerald Emperor of Professional Wrestling. And last time you saw one of my interviews, I was interviewing none other than this man right over here, Francisco Ciatso. It was a much more pleasant time then though, Frank. And for those of you that don't know, sitting next to Francisco Ciatso is Big Pete Cannon, the man who worked his ass off to lead Francisco Ciatso to the Vintage Wrestling Heavyweight Championship title. But guys, it's a lot more somber mood today. Very, very angry ambiance I'm getting from you guys and from myself. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that are uneducated as to the injustice that was perpetrated against Francisco Ciatso and the Royal Empire, Ron Niemi, you know him? The hardcore giant, IPW's mastermind. Ron Niemi was named the new investor of Vintage Wrestling. And his first act was not to introduce cruiserweights, was not to congratulate us for our hard work. Ron Niemi took it upon himself to engage in a whose dick is bigger competition and strip Francisco Ciatso of the heavyweight title. Now Ron gave excuses, Ron wants to shoot, Ron wants to call out personal stuff. But Ron, right here in my hands, I have the championship contract. I have the rules, the regulations from which Francisco Ciatso agreed to when he became champion. Ron, you want to talk about how he didn't defend his title in the allotted time? Well, you know what? Screw that contract. Screw the rules, and quite honestly, screw you. But I don't have to say it. You don't have to hear it from me. I'm nobody to you, Ron. I know this. I understand the fact that I am a peon on your radar, which is a big mistake for you to sleep on me. But right now, you're going to hear it right from the horse's mouth. You're going to hear it from your former best friend, from your former brother. And you know, and everyone watching this can understand the fact that Francisco Ciatso and Ron Niemi were like brothers in and out of the ring. But now, Ron, you're going to hear it from the guy that you slapped in the face. You're gonna hear it from the guy that you disrespected. If I can be honest, you're gonna hear it from the guy that you tried to get over on. And it's about to bite you in the ass, Ron. Frank?
Well, Simon, you know, it's kind of funny, and, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and call you Simon. John, the fact of the matter is, everyone knows that you and I, whether it was Big Pete Cannon, whether it's Mike Cruz, Corey Chavis, Sam Shaw, built Vintage on our backs. No paydays, low paydays, back to no paydays.
Excuses.
Blood, sweat, and tears, excuses, peanuts, bragging rights, everything we joke about. But at the end of the day, whether fans hated us, loved us, we did it because we love this business. And we did it because we want to do it. And because the fans want us there. It's no secret, I took a booking for Ring Warriors down in South Florida. I was off, and I cleared with the Vintage office. Took a booking like any other independent wrestler would take. And wished you guys well, hoped everything went well. I knew I left you in charge. The Royal Empire and everything that we had to do that night. And me and Big Pete Cannon headed south. I get a text message about 9:45 at night from none other than Ron Niemi telling me that I was being stripped of the Vintage Heavyweight title, and the title was being put up in a four-way with Milo Beasley and Eric Cooper, Sam Shaw, and Aaron Epic, which completely baffled me because last time I checked, I was the Vintage Heavyweight champion. So to say I was dumbfounded would be a lack of a better term. And I went to Pete, went to our dressing room, and I said, here's what's going on. I even went to Bruce Santee, who was actually on the card, believe it or not, against Adam Pearce, and he couldn't believe what was happening. I tried calling you, no answer. I tried calling Maximo, no answer. I tried calling Eric Cooper, Fachim. I even tried calling Corey Chavis. The last guy in the entire world that would ever pick up the phone for me. But he picked up the phone. Never in a million years would I have thought that Corey Chavis would have picked up the phone for me. But he did. And he told me it was legit. It was happening. So the fact of the matter is, me and Ron Niemi have been friends for many years. What is it going on, 12, 13 years now?
At the very least.
And his kids see me as an uncle. I looked at him as a brother. So to say that I'm mad isn't even the right terminology. I'm hurt, which is even worse. I can deal with being angry because I'm angry every day. Every day my alarm goes off, I'm angry.
Well, not to cut you off, but I'll tell you, this is as candid as it gets. You know, we're doing this thing so that everything's out on the table. You texted me. You know why I didn't pick up the phone. You know I was unavailable. I was in the ring with Ron when this happened. And you texted me, the exact words were, "You've never felt this betrayed." Betrayal goes way further than anger. It goes way further than politics.
Because I left you in charge, John. That's why. Because I left you in charge. Because you and Maximo ensured me nothing was going to happen, no craziness was going to happen. So I trusted you. Because I trust you because you're family. I trust Maximo because he's family. But you guys allowed Ron Niemi to go to the ring and get a microphone and on me. The guy that came to your house for Christmas, the guy that plays with your nephew, the guy that breaks bread with your family. I trusted you.
You can't put the blame on me. You can't. The blame is on Ron. Ron Niemi betrayed you. I went out to that ring. I got carried out of the ring, Frank. Focus. This happened last time I interviewed you. Ron is the one that did this. I went there and I fought for you. I fought Ron in that locker room. Ron did this. Ron fucked up. And I know you're upset. I know Pete's upset. I'm upset. We're all upset. But let's be objective here. This is Ron. And this is what Ron is trying to do. Ron wants to see this. Ron can't stand that the Royal Empire is the most over thing in Florida right now. So he's trying to break this up.
This ain't about wrestling, John. This ain't gonna be a wrestling jerk-off promo. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna talk about what I'm gonna do to Ron, what this, that, and the other. If I was closer, I would have driven to Tampa and I would have knocked on his door and I'd have caved his face in because I busted my ass for this damn business, John. I busted my ass for vintage. I busted my ass to help guys that never would have got a shot in this state. They want to call it the land of the misfit toys. Guys like you that were on for years and are on now because you ain't got a body. Because guys that think you're a joke. No, but I see something in you. Just like Ron Niemi saw something in me 10 years ago, I'm not the same guy that I was in 2002, 2004, 2006. He thinks I'm the same green boy that he groomed and helped and so on and so forth. But see, that this isn't about wrestling. This is about Ron coming back to Florida, swinging his dick. And he tried to make an example of me. Wrong move, wrong guy. This ain't about wrestling. This ain't about the Royal Empire. This ain't about your internet TV title. This ain't even about the vintage heavyweight title. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm the most over son of a in this state, and I ain't had a belt in 6 years. So the fact of the matter is, Ron came in here. He had this planned from the second he left Tampa, the second he got to Sanford. And that's fine. It's okay. Because you see, no one can beat me. No one can keep me down, let alone Ron Niemi. I went down to South Florida, and I worked for a great promotion. Howard Brody is a class act. Larry Brannon, Paul Jones, Chris Nelson, they're class acts. They treated me like a star. They treated me like I belong. Just like I treat each and every person that walks through that vintage door like a star and like they belong, like they matter. Whether fans love me, whether they hate me, it makes no difference. As long as there's an ass every 16 inches, that's all that matters to me. You see, Ron isn't about the long haul. He's about the short fachin. All he cares about is getting his little glory, getting his name mentioned on PW Insider, and then he fades off into the sunset, because the second he gets his feathers ruffled, he's gonna be gone. And that's fine, because see, I know what Ron Niemi's about, and that's fine. Me and Ron go back many years. And the fact is, because him and I have been friends for so long, I know what he's about. See, you don't. Mike Cruz doesn't. Sam Shaw don't. Corey Chavis maybe knows a little bit. So while everybody's sitting there behind him, thinking he's going to take you guys to the promised land, you're sorely mistaken. You see, this isn't a wrestling promo. Again, this isn't about wrestling. Me and Pete used to sleep on his couch in the IPW days. We know what Ron Niemi's about.
My thing is this, Frank. And we're laying it all on the table. I love you like a brother. You know that. I'll say that till I'm blue in the face. Uncle Pete, I call you Uncle Pete for a reason. You know? Ron Niemi fucked up. You seem, and look at me. You seem to think you weren't there. Okay? You seem to think there was some kind of mutiny. You seem to think that I look at Ron as a savior.
I'm using Rod's words, John. I'm using the word mutiny because that's the word he used. When the word came down the wire, that's a text I got.
So
and I'm not going to sit here and go into specifics, John.
Let me
You and Max and whoever else was in that goddamn locker room had every opportunity to stop Ron from doing what he did.
How?
You didn't.
How?
You knock his teeth out. That's how. Because had it been me,
Listen.
had it been me, John, I'd have crippled that little son of a bitch before he made it through the f***ing curtain, John. But you guys did nothing but sit there and let it happen. So now I'm left to pick up the pieces of my own f***ing wrestling career, John. With guys like Howard Brody calling me, and guys like Larry Brannon calling me, and Chris Nelson calling me, and go, what the hell's going on, Frank? That's what I get. That's the thanks I get for doing everything for you, for doing everything for Don Maximo, for doing everything for Vintage. That's the thanks I get. A slap in the goddamn face.
Sit down, Frank. Sit down. Listen, we're doing this together. Why do you think I'm doing this?
It's all right.
Well, I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to arrange this. I'm doing this because I'm on your side. All right? I'm going on the record, Frank. I'm putting it out there for everyone to see. I'm telling you, I'm telling Pete, I'm telling these cameras, Ron Niemi. I understand you're upset. You know, you stand up, you yell. It's completely unwarranted. You say those are the words Ron gave you through a text, right? Mutiny? You just finished saying you know what Ron's all about. You know he's full of shit. Did you not just say that?
Yeah.
Am I full of shit? Have I ever lied to you? Look at me, Frank. You're my brother. Have I ever lied to you? You beat my ass in Tampa, Florida before this thing of ours, your words, ever began. I have the utmost respect for you. There's no one in this state that compares to the way I feel about you and Pete. Nobody. And I love Eric Cooper to death. Eric Cooper and I traveled the roads together. For you to get this upset, you know, and I apologize to the building owner. For you to get this mad at me, Frank, that's unjustified. You know, we talked about this. I'm on your side. Look at me. I'm on your side. This belt means more to me than anything I've ever done in wrestling. You know what? The internet TV title. Screw that. Screw that. This. If Vintage Wrestling were to close down tomorrow, we still have this. Am I wrong? Uncle Pete. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we got that.
We're in this together. Ron Niemi's got a bunch of people drinking their Kool-Aid, but not us. You, me, Biff Slater. Biff and you have no love lost, and he stood up for you. We stood up for you. You're letting Ron get inside your head. Pete, I had you sit here because I want your thoughts. Ron wants to shoot. That's my big thing. Ron wants to shoot. Let's shoot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we'll do that.
You know, but you gotta come down, Frank. I know you're upset, but you can't put the blame on me, bro. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Ron Niemi almost cost us the building, all right? Ron Niemi's the owner of Vintage and almost got us kicked out because he cut a drunken promo completely wanting to shoot and started cursing in the Salvation Army. I've told you this on the phone. I told you this when we talked earlier before the interview. I would be completely unjustified in telling you not to be upset, but you're projecting your anger against the wrong person. Pete,
bottom line is we had business in South Florida. You were left in charge. This happened on your watch. Enough said about that right now. It was a learning experience. You saw another side of Ron Niemi that we've seen numerous times.
and you warned me.
I'm gonna look dead into this camera. Ron Niemi, you are a piece of shit. I've known it for years because this man has trusted you and loved you like a brother. I put that aside. And you stayed at my place. I've stayed at your place. We've traveled all over. But I want to tell you something. Remember that little night in Richmond Hills? Remember that night when you came at me and I put your ass down? Nothing. What's going to happen to you is nothing compared to now. You've crossed a line that you cannot return from. You've stabbed Frank in the back. You run your mouth. You've insulted other promoters. Man, it's done. It's done. You have started something that you can't stop. The best thing for you to do would be like you did a few years ago when the heat got on, tuck your tail and haul ass up I-95 out of Florida again.
You see, Ron? No matter what you say, no matter your position, you were a big deal a long time ago. And there's still some stuff that needs to be hashed out among us. Okay? That's going to be done off camera. But Ron, no matter what happens, no matter what we still have left to talk about, you're the enemy. You did this. Completely unwarranted. You showed up and you tried to make a name for yourself at our expense, and now it's going to come back at you 100-fold.
This has to do with the fact that they don't compete in South Florida, taking care of business, and we left you in charge. I'm not blaming you, okay? I know I got hot. I'm not blaming Don Maximo. But at the end of the day, when I leave you guys in charge to protect me and to protect this thing of ours, I expect it to be protected.
I know.
There's guys, whether they love us or they hate us, there's guys that are depending on you to make sure that this thing keeps going. Young stars, guys like Mike Cruz. Come on, man.
You're absolutely right. I know you're upset. But now more than ever, you know, we have to show unity. This is us. I told you this on the phone on that Saturday night. Vintage is supposed to work together. You know, the fans hate us. We don't like a lot of the guys in the locker room.
Then we do it, John.
And we're gonna do it. And we're gonna do it. Listen, Ron Niemi is Ron. Okay? People say he's gonna save Vintage. If I have to choose, I told you this. If I have to choose, sink or swim, with me and Ron, I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna cut Ron off and let him drown. But I told you, if it's sink or swim, with or without you, I'm gonna sink with you. I will go down with this ship for Pete, for you, for Coop, for all of us. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, dude. All right? Listen, this is bullshit. All of this thing is bullshit. All of it. You know?
Get that camera around here. Get that camera over here. You see, there's guys that paved the way for me. Guys like Mike and Todd Shane. Guys like Billy Fives. Guys like Scoot Andrews. They paved the way for guys like me. Guys like me are going to do that for guys like Mike Cruz. For guys like Sam Shaw. For guys like Eric Cooper. But for a guy like Ron Niemi to come in here, bury me on a microphone, talk right out of his ass, is beyond my understanding, because he knows what I'm about, and he knows that I love the pro wrestling business more than anything in the entire world. So August 11th, Ron Niemi, so help me God, as God is my witness on my mother's soul, you walk through that door, I'm going to cave your goddamn face in. I'm going to send you home to your wife, Terry, in a wheelchair. Hear what I'm telling you, Ron Niemi. This isn't a joke. This isn't a wrestling promo. I'm telling you beyond the shadow of a doubt, I'm going to hurt you with every ounce of breath that I have in my f***ing body. You crossed the wrong guy.
Yeah, that's it. Just cut it, guys.